bills seem to be going up and up and up at the moment. So we thought we'd ask Platform Housing Group's Head of Sustainability how to save energy this winter. Hi, I'm Tim. Thanks for joining us, Stephen. So give us a little background on why we need to save energy this winter.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Tim. Well, winter time is always a time where we're using much more energy to keep our homes warm. So it is a time when our bills are going to go up significantly compared to the summer period. So now as we're approaching winter, this is a really good time to sort of think about all the different things that we could do to save on our energy bills.
Okay, and we're going to be doing 3 videos looking at specific areas, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I can go through those, and yeah, there's various different things that we'll be looking at, such as understanding your bill, how to switch suppliers, and different sort of tips that you can do, things that you can look at in your own home, and how to save money.
Okay, that's fantastic.
So obviously there's a lot going on at the moment in terms of the whole energy sector is in a little bit of a state of crisis. Gas prices have been going up. We've seen a lot of energy companies, particularly the smaller ones, go bust. And there's a lot of concern about how winter energy fuel prices will be going up over the winter. So we want to provide some support for everyone so that we can help to counter this impact. So there are 3 things that we'll be looking at in 3 separate little films. The first of those is understanding your bill.
Okay.
The second one is switching energy supplier, and the third one will be looking at energy saving tips in the home.
Brilliant.
So we can start by having a look at understanding your bill. So a lot of the time we would have been putting our bill probably into a drawer somewhere when it arrives in the post. Now a lot of us are getting online bills.
Yeah.
And it's rare that we actually really look at our bill. But actually there's really useful information in the bill. So we just wanted to go through and point out some of the really key bits of information that can help you understand more about what you're paying, why you're paying that much, and what that might compare to with what you were using last year, for example. So we're going to start by looking at this electricity bill, which is a British gas bill, and all the bills have the same sort of information, but they just slightly arrange it in a different way. But one of the key bits of information, especially if you're thinking about switching to a different supplier, is to know your tariff and the name of your tariff. So here it's been highlighted. You can see the first page of the bill on the right hand side, and we've just picked out those particular 3 items on the left. The first is the tariff, so we can see that's fixed price January 2017, ending the 31st of January 2017. So that's the name of the tariff. So that's really, really important to know if you want to, especially if you want to switch.
Okay.
Usage is telling you how much energy you've used during the billing period. So this is a 3-month bill, May to July, and it's telling us that 569 kilowatt hours of electricity have been used during that 3-month period. So that could be really useful when you're trying to work out what you've used across a year and comparing with other suppliers what you're paying for that amount of electricity. Another really useful bit of information on the bill, which is often on the front page, but sometimes it's on page 2, is something called a personal projection. So in that box that says, could I pay less? It says that your 12-month personal projection for your current tariff is £632.04. So that's saying, based on what your usage is over the last 12 months, British Gas are calculating that they're expecting that your next 12 months will be around £632 for the whole year. Again, that will be really useful information when you're doing a switching, which we'll come to in the second video.
Okay.
So those are 3 really useful bits of information on that first page of the bill, but we get more than 1 page in our bill, so we're going to go to the second page, and this is where more of the detail is laid out, and it can get a bit confusing because there's a lot of information in there, but we're going to just try and break it up a little bit. So at the top of this page 2 of this bill, there's a box that says about your tariff. And this actually tells you the tariff name again, the payment method, which is highlighted there, so it's saying whether it's cash or check, the end date of the tariff, and then if there's an exit fee. So if you leave your fixed term contract before the deadline,
Right.
then it says you will be charged £50 to leave the contract before the end of the year. It also tells you your actual usage in the last 12 months. So again, that's a really useful bit of information, and you could potentially compare that to the previous year to see if your usage might have gone up or down. And that's saying 3,503 kilowatts.
Okay.
Good. The other bit is your electricity use in detail. Now, this is useful because it's telling you what your actual readings are.
Yeah.
And it's telling you there that you gave us your meter reading. So from that, we know that that's an actual meter reading. Other billing providers sometimes put an A for actual rather than writing out you gave us your meter reading.
Yeah.
Others will say this is an estimated reading, and that's where you need to be mindful of is your bill an estimated bill or not?
Yeah.
Because they might have overestimated it, they might have underestimated it. So if you're kind of thinking that seems not right, it might be because it's an estimated bill.
Okay.
It also then gives you the amount that you're getting charged by British Gas for those 569 kilowatts, which is at 14 pence, 14.08 pence. And then there's a standing charge. So pretty well all tariffs will have a standing charge, which is a set amount that we pay each day to provide the service of that energy. Okay. And this one we can see is 17.227 pence per day. So as I say, there are different ways that some of the billing providers will relay this information. So we're going to have a look at another bill now, which is an Eon bill. And this Eon bill is a dual fuel bill. So some of you might have both your electricity and gas with the same supplier, and it all comes on the same bill. So again, there'll be the same sort of information. It might be in a slightly different place on the bill, but you'll be able to find all of that same information. Now, Eon in this particular case, work out what your daily usage is for both your electricity and your gas. And they also give you a comparison to what you were using last year. So that's quite useful to know.
It's brilliant, yeah.
Yeah. You can also see that they've got, again, this box that says, could you pay less, and what your personal projection is. So I know that's probably quite small writing. You might not be able to fully see that, but in this instance, the electricity is £564 and the gas is £578 for the next 12 months. So that's what they estimate the bill to come to over the 12-month period. And again, that will be useful when you do a switch, because that will be the sort of information they'll be asking for.
And they're obliged to give you that information, aren't they?
That's right. There are certain guidelines to what information has to be provided. Sometimes also you'll find that there will be, if they've got a tariff that is cheaper than the one you're on now, they have to tell you what that tariff is and how much you would save.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have to switch suppliers, you just have to go onto a different tariff.
Yeah.
And you could potentially save money on that. So that's another thing you can look out for in this part of the bill. So again, on the second page, we've got, again, all the details about the tariff from the name, when the deadline is, whether there's an exit fee, in this case it's only £10, and what the estimated usage is in kilowatt hour for the last 12 months. So they split it. On the left hand side is electricity, and on the right hand side of that top left hand box is the gas. And then you can drill down again into the detail with what are the meter readings and what are the amounts that they've charged for each of the periods, and what are the actual prices that they've charged you at, as well as the standing charge. So if you can actually go into the detail there and find out how they've calculated your bill.
Okay.
So that's kind of everything we've looked at in terms of the bill. I thought it would be useful to just indicate to people what people typically pay in the UK for their gas and electricity. So we looked at some so these three diagrams here on the left give different indications of what, depending on the size of your house. So from a small house, you might be on average paying around £784 a year for both your gas and electric.
Yeah.
Medium house is going to be more like £1,153. And then if you've got a large house, it's going to go up to £1,604. So those are averages, and they've also then give you an indication of the split between the gas and electric. Now, some of you might not have gas, you might have electric with night storage heaters, and there you might find that you would have to combine those two to get your electric. And often electric might be even more, because what you pay for your electric is much higher per kilowatt hour than what you pay for your gas. And then that little table on the right is just the overall average for the year 2020 in terms of gas and electricity bills, both in the amount of money that we're paying and the amount of kilowatt hours that we're using. And so we know that on average, say a 3-bed house in the UK is using about 12,000 kilowatt hours a year in gas and about 3,400 in electric.
So that's really useful. So if you're doing your meter readings regularly and you're finding that it's not within those general parameters, you probably need to do something about it.
Absolutely, yeah. And you want to find out, maybe have you bought more appliances, or have you been putting the heating on for longer periods? That might explain why your bill, might be up higher than it has been before.
Yeah, cool. Well, I have to admit to you that I do find the bills quite intimidating sometimes, but you've really simplified it for me. Thank you so much.
No problem at all.
Want to know more about saving energy, including how to deal with mold, condensation and drafts? Go to our website and search for Get Winter Ready and click the link.